curious.
What happens when you finally kick the bucket, so to speak? Despite our mostly science-grounded views,
Yeah, like, did y'all ever wonder, like, what happens when you die too? Like, what really goes down, bro? Obviously, these people got the answer, right? They got pictures, videos, facts, right? They know what happens. So let's see what happens when you die.
on death these days, it seems many of us believe in life after it. In 2014, UK citizens were polled by The Telegraph, and just under 60% of respondents said they believe some part of us.
Like, do y'all think we just, like, because when we was, like, how many of y'all remember, like, your life before you was alive? You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all remember, like, and that made no sense, your life before you was alive? How many of y'all, like, how many of y'all remember, like, what it was like? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm thinking in my head, how do I say this? When you just for like when dinosaurs was born, like, we didn't know none of that even existed. So is it the same thing when we're dead? Like, because I feel like when I was born, I feel like the world just begun, but clearly the world has been here before me. So it's like, would we even know if we died? Do we even know? Do we become animals or something? Like, after, like, what do y'all think happens? Like, I've thought about that before. Like, what happens? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Lives on. In the US, still a very Christian nation, Pew Research in 2015 asked people what happened after you die. The survey found that 72% of Americans believed you go to heaven, which...
Are y'all scared to die? Not really, because I thought about it before. It's like, you wouldn't even know if you did. So it's like... But I have thought about, like when you do die, it's like, dang, you're not coming back. Like, it's forever. Like, it's crazy. So it's like you only got one life, and it's just like, it's done. It's over with. Like, forever. Like, you literally ever thought about it? It's like forever. Forever. You will never be back. Forever, you're just gone. For who knows how long. Like, it's scary. It's scary. It's weird. But it's interesting. Like, it's scary, but it's interesting to think about that. Like, you're never alive ever again, bro. That'd be stressing me out because I like living. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is scary. Like, you're just literally never alive again. But it's like, do you even know if you die? So it's like, you know, how could I be worried if I didn't even know? What they say, what you don't know won't hurt, or something like that, you won't even know it.
Which was described as a place where people who have led good lives are eternally rewarded. 54% of US adults replied that they believed in hell, which was described as a place where people who have led bad lives and die without being sorry are eternally punished. With that in mind, welcome to this episode of the Infographic Show, What Happens When You Die. Don't forget to subscribe and click...
How do they know? You know what I'm saying? How do they know?
Click the bell button so that you can be part of our notifications.
Is this one big clickbait?
It seems a lot of people do believe that after death we might be ensconced in some cloud-strewn paradise, or conversely, if we haven't adhered to the ethics prescribed to us by our chosen religion or denomination of that religion, we might be faced with eternal hellfire and the prospect of groveling to a bearded red man who hardly ever puts down his pitchfork. But let's start with some empirical realism and what actually happens to the body when we die. Physicians know you're dead because the heart stops beating and there is no longer any electrical activity in your brain. Brain death equals dead, although machines can keep you going a little bit longer. You can also have what's called a cardiac death, which means the heart stops beating and blood no longer flows through your body. The strange, even wonderful thing is, people that have suffered cardiac death but have been brought back to life have said they were aware of what was going on around them. Others have talked about walking towards a light in such a near-death experience. You can be brought back from what we call clinical death, but you only have a grace period of about 4 to 6 minutes. But let's say you get to the light and pass through. This is what we call biological death. Game over, the final whistle, dead as a dodo. This is where it gets kind of undignified, but what do you care, you're dead. Once you're definitely no longer with us, your muscles relax, and this means your sphincter will too, meaning that triple whopper and large fries you had for lunch will spill out of you. The gas you have in you may also leak out and cause a stink. The same goes for the pee you've got in your bladder, so dying, not surprisingly, is a bit of a messy affair. And men, you might even ejaculate. As for women,
I might want to die. You mean to tell me I get a nut off? Interesting.
you may give birth after you have died if you were
What?
ejaculate. As for women, you may give birth after you have died if you were pregnant, which is something called coffin birth. It doesn't happen often though. Instead of pushing, it's the gases in the abdomen that squeeze the newborn into the world. As the body gets rid of what is trapped inside, noises may be emitted from your mouth as air escapes. Nurses and people working close to dead bodies have regularly reported hearing very alive-sounding moans and groans coming from dead bodies. You may twitch, but this
Nah,
doesn't
that's a zombie, bro. What? I watched Walking Dead for five plus seasons. That's a zombie. A dead body making noise?
mean there is life in you, these are just muscle contractions. You could also soon get an erection if you died lying on your stomach and the blood flowed down there.
Once again, interesting. Interesting facts. Interesting.
All your blood will pool to a certain area of your body. This is called livor mortis, and it's the reason parts of you will have that dark
Shout out to that song Rigor Mortis from K-Dot. Shout out to that song. That was one of my favorite Kendrick songs at one point.
purple color you have seen on TV. These are the lovely things that can happen quite shortly after you go. With no blood flowing through your body, it will begin to cool down, known as algor mortis, or simply death chill. It will keep cooling until it is the same temperature as your surroundings. You will become stiff within about 2 to 6 hours, and this we call rigor mortis. This is because calcium is getting into your muscle cells. Cells break down without blood flow, and this leads to bacteria.
This reminded me of high school. We had a forensics class. Shout out to the two homies that I barely talk to now, but they was cool people. Shout out to them. We had this this forensics class. I kind of wish I paid attention now, because that class was actually kind of fun. We was messing around with dead pigs and stuff outside. First of all, where the fuck did they even find these crazy animals and creatures and critters to even show us? But like it was actually a cool little class. Have y'all ever had a class that y'all kind of wish y'all could do again? That was fun. Like, you actually couldn't wait to go to that class. Like, that was one of those classes for me, but I just didn't pay attention in that class for some reason. But it was actually kind of cool. Let me know y'all's favorite class back in y'all day.
Bacteria growth, and that's why you start to decompose. You may look like your hair or your nails have grown, but that isn't the case. What is happening is that your skin is receding, giving the impression of growth. The skin will loosen too, and blisters will appear on the body. The next stage is putrefaction, when bacteria and microorganisms start feasting on you. You'll soon start to stink as bad as anything you could have imagined while you were alive. One person described the smell as rotten eggs, feces, and a used toilet left out for a month times 1,000. It is unholy. Soon everything that is soft becomes liquefied, with things like bones, cartilage, and hair remaining strong. You're already well on your way to decomposing by the time you are being put in the ground, but if embalmed and buried, decomposition could be a slow process. Left above ground, you'll be a liquefied mess within about a month, feasted on by insects, maggots, plants, and animals. Underground, some experts say it might take 8 to 12 years before you are reduced to nothing but a skeleton. After around 50 years, even your bones will become part of the earth. We should add the rate of decomposition depends on all manner of factors, too many to list here, but we think you get the picture.
Wait, so they're saying bones decay after 12 years? So how are we finding dinosaur bones? I'm confused. Someone explain that.
Depends on all manner of factors, too many to list here, but we think you get the picture. While some people report that their near-death experience was a scene to behold, that's not always the case. One person writing on Reddit said his experience was as follows. It was just black emptiness, no thoughts, no consciousness, nothing. Is there really something else? French philosopher René Descartes believed the soul was separate from the body, as many religions will tell you, and perhaps when we die, something lingers on. Friedrich Nietzsche talked about the concept of eternal recurrence, or eternal return, meaning all existence or energy in the universe has forever and will forever keep repeating itself ad infinitum. You live the same life again and again forever.
You live the same life. No. I do not want that. I want I want a different one. A redo. Not a different one, but a richer one. What do you mean you live the same life over and over again?
Now, doesn't that make you want to live well? Here we can make similarities to the Buddhist belief of the Wheel of Samsara, wherein all souls or lives will begin a cycle again after death, except not the same exact life.
Okay. Not the same exact. Okay. Alright, say less.
Call reincarnation, which some people say is connected to what we sometimes call deja vu. Buddhists believe we can end this.
Ooh, deja vu is kind of weird. Y'all ever just be somewhere and felt like you've been there before? Y'all ever, like, what? Someone explain that. That's crazy. And you try to, like, piece it together, but you can't, like, really remember what happens, but you try to predict what's about to happen? Is deja vu real? That's so Kofi. Yeah. Or you had the same yeah, like you feel like you had the same convo with somebody. I felt that happened to me today. I feel like I talked to somebody about some Yeezys, like the literal same person, but it was somebody different. I hope I reincarnate as a 6 foot. A 6 foot what? A human? A orangutan? Like a 6 foot what? Person? A dick? I don't know. Like, what are we talking about here?
Vicious cycle if we can become truly enlightened, therefore achieving nirvana. Or do we make
as a 6 foot? What does that mean? As a 6 foot?
our way to heaven after our bodies stop working, tipping our cap to St. Peter at the pearly gates, hoping he won't deny us entrance for stealing that candy bar when we went on a school trip to Niagara Falls. Will we be taken into paradise, a place replete with excellent foods and gorgeous...
Is this paradise? Is this heaven? I just got 5 bitches feeding me food, exotic fruits, wines, and Heinz ketchup? Is this heaven?
maidens that make your
sign me up, man.
dead knees go weak? Or will we simply seed the earth, our souls nothing more than a worldly fancy that took our minds off our cosmic insignificance and the feeling of futility that we sometimes experience here on Terra
That was one of the most random comments, but I do agree with this. Pooh Shiesty is officially Pooh Asaid. I was like, this man Pooh Shiesty is all of a sudden Muslim. I feel like everybody who go to jail become Muslim. I had to like really look at the picture. It's just so different from this video. I had to like really look at the picture and be like, where is he? I don't see him. But yeah, you're not wrong.
Burma. While this video was pretty grim, let's for a second step away and think about your life now and how you can make it better. If you are one of the many living people who are running a business or thinking of starting one, you probably need a website. But since we all have limited time on Earth, you don't want to spend too much time figuring out how to set everything up and then...
Look at this so subtle ad here. Hashtag ad.
This has a huge library of beautiful sites ever again. If you already have your domain...
W video. What do you believe happens when you die? Put it down below. Let me know. Try not to yawn. These videos just be so interesting, bro. Like I just wanna hear what they got to say.
This is one for all my nigga bitches, niggas, bitch going broke over a nigga, bitches, niggas, fuck blowing smoke over a nigga, bitches, niggas, and losing sleep over these niggas, bitches, niggas, fuck talking sense into a hoe. Oh, it's time I finally fucking said it.